feeling it.
Feel it, feel it.
We fell short.
Oh,
this
cool shoulder.
Alright. Oh, and we're way out.
This cool show I like to watch is going live on. Oh wait, that's us.
Oh, that's us. Hey.
Hola! I have a big delicious stein of cerveza for this.
Alright, so we're gonna have to slide over and make sure Marsha's on cam.
I'm on cam. I'm good.
I'm looking at it right now, and
You gotta slide over a little bit.
I'm good.
she's on.
So, I know this.
All right.
A little bit better down there.
I got this, man.
Alright, y'all ready?
Yeah. Consistency thing.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show podcast / live stream. I'm Cecil Laird.
I mean, Fuego here.
And it's time! We're finally gonna do our It review.
Woo!
And, oh god, I didn't do a sound check.
Nope.
Alright, so.
No sound check necessary.
This is going to be the spoilers review, you guys. So if you haven't seen the new Stephen King's It, then you might want to turn away now. But the first thing we got to do, Fuego and I did over an hour long review on Tuesday night at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And we were deeply committed that day.
How was an hour review, not spoilers?
Yeah, we made it somehow. Well, I did spoil one thing, and I apologize to you guys for spoiling that one thing. But anyway. Well, you didn't get far enough to see it.
I didn't watch it.
I
didn't watch the review until after I watched the movie because I didn't want it to get by.
But okay, so Marsha cryptically messaged all of us saying, I can't wait to tell you guys what I think. It might not be what you expect. So Marsha, please give us your opinion on the new Stephen King's It. And the reason I'm skipping Andrew is because he hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Andrew's here to monitor comments.
I'm
today.
just under the comments. Rubber Soul says you should give Marshall the comfy chair. That's what his wife says.
Oh, that's a fucking good point.
No, I'm fine.
No,
No,
he's
I don't
absolutely
want
right.
But
I don't
I
want
can grab that other
I
one.
don't want
hold on. I'm gonna run through roll call if you guys want to do on a switch.
I'll never get out of it.
Go ahead.
Tom H.
Roll call.
Brett Warren, Rubber Soul. Brady's here. Tony Robinson.
What up, Brady?
What up, Brady?
Aylin Servin, H2 Kyle, Scott Baker, Russ Reeds, Stephen King fan. Hey,
Wow, lots.
Yeah. Joseph Savarese. We got a ton of people.
Holy shit.
AZ Moon 81.
Yeah.
Mean Finn, do that.
I don't recognize any of these names. All right, well, Marsha, continue
I've had
on.
various people contacting me asking when this was. So
All right, Marsha, go ahead.
All right.
I'm gonna post on Horror Town. Go
I'm
ahead.
just gonna start off and say that I did not like the movie at all.
What?
Wow, you didn't like
At
it at all?
I thought it was
What?
at all. I thought it was a waste of my money, really.
What?
Whoa.
And I did like how you were saying that it was more of an interpretation than an adaptation, which
All the way.
I
It's in the
100%
80s,
agree.
not the 50s, for God's sake.
I 100% agree with that. But even so, I thought the pacing was bullshit. I
At
thought
times.
the acting was horrible,
I
except
actually-
for like 3 people.
I said that I wanted it to be longer in the review.
And
Didn't
then
it
I
still feel like it was short,
And-
despite the fact that it was over 2 hours?
I think the reason why, and I was listening to, because Cecil was like, I thought it was too long. You said
I said
I
a
don't-
smidge too
it's
long.
much too long, and you said that you thought that it could use more, and I think it was because of the pacing. I guarantee that if there was a director's cut of this movie, I probably would like it at least 10, maybe 15% more than I like it now.
Why would you say that?
Because of how it was paced. It seems like they cut so much out of it. And the stuff
This
that
is
they
the
did,
danger of reading the book before.
It is, but, I mean,
I didn't feel like it was missing anything.
you didn't feel like the flow of it was just kind of
No,
garbage?
I've heard the flow argument, but no, it didn't. I thought it, while it may have felt jumpy to some people, I actually felt okay with the pacing of going from person to person and seeing their versions of it. Like, I was okay with that. I didn't feel like I needed any more time with. I think Andrew's telling the commenters to calm down.
I
don't know,
I got a lot of hate
It's
for
a
what I'm
complete
saying.
toss-up. It's a complete
Marsha
toss-up.
was like,
I
you got
know
some
people-
hate for being mildly critical of a few things?
I know people are going to be really upset with what I have to say, but I'm sorry. But okay, I will give them the fact that it was off. Like, Pennywise
That was
was
great.
good. Yeah, that looks good.
This is from Nerdful Things, guys.
Yes, check it out.
Pennywise looked good.
Mm-hmm.
The actor did a
Wait,
phenomenal
well,
job.
Pennywise without the digital effects or with the digital effects or both?
All of it. I thought they did a really good job. with
Well, how can you not like the movie
you
at all
So
then?
you even
Because
like the transformation?
you like
stuff?
I already
Pennywise.
told you I didn't like the pacing. I didn't like the writing. I didn't like the
But
acting.
you
Well,
like Pennywise.
How about we find some things that you did like then? Besides Pennywise, did
Okay.
you like any of the kid actors? Did you feel like they did a good
I
job?
liked Richie, the kid from
Finn Wolfhard,
Strangeful Things.
yeah.
Strangeful Things.
Strangeful Things. That's
Stranger
This
Things.
used to be a beaver trapping town. Still is, boys. Am I right?
Am I right?
Hey. No, he did a great job. I thought the kid who did Eddie did a great job.
Honestly, for me, as I said in the review, Ben and Bev, I thought were fantastic.
How? They didn't do anything.
Are you serious?
Snap!
Ben stood
Beverly-
there.
Beverly
Ben
was.
stood there for like an hour and a half going.
He's still my heart. I love Beverly.
I thought Beverly was amazing.
Yeah, and the fact
she
that
that
was
too
amazing.
old.
Okay.
She was 19 years old. She's supposed to be the same fucking
19?
age.
she's actually 14.
Ugh.
What?
Yeah.
That's surprising. I would have said 16. But 14,
I mean, some
alright.
girls develop early, sure, but
She was in that early
She
development.
wasn't that
okay,
developed.
you didn't like the new kid on the block, Ben. I loved him. He
No.
was endearing
You
and
wanna know
A
cute.
lot
why?
of people didn't like the new kid on the block stuff.
No,
they thought that
It
was
was
weird.
funny.
I thought
no,
it was funny.
it's not that I didn't like that stuff. It was the fact that okay, Ben is one of my favorite characters. I think he is been underplayed in both the miniseries and this movie.
He was
In
underplayed.
the miniseries,
Him
they changed the
and
hell
Mike
out of it.
Hanlon both got short shrift
Mike
in this
Hanlon-
movie.
Actually,
Oh my god, he's like one of the most important ones besides
He was
Bill.
barely in
well,
this
well,
one,
it was
yeah.
Mike and Stan that got pretty much nothing to do.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I mean, and they made Stan more of a probably can't say on YouTube word than
J-E-J-O-O, to quote Cartman.
no, he was. Oh my god, they
Whoa.
made him a bigger.
Whoa.
Whoa.
And not in a
Wuss.
bad
I'll just
way,
say
but
he was
I
a
mean,
bigger
they
wuss.
mixed it up.
Okay, wuss. I
He was
think
a-
that, yeah, I
Really?
figured that's what you were going
Yeah.
for.
Yeah,
rather than that.
and
Yeah.
honestly, wasn't it interesting how they made
Than
Eddie
Eddie,
more
which is
of
crazy.
what I thought Eddie was more of a wisecracker than even Richie was. His mile a minute like
Yeah.
delivery and stuff. Like I know that's his neuroticism, and they really amped that up
That's
and
not
stuff. One interesting thing for me though, Marcia, did you not like the fact that the parents were like greasy, strange, didn't really kind of
No, I didn't.
you didn't like
What
that aspect?
parents? The only thing parents you saw really
Yeah,
was
well, it's not
Henry.
creepy
Well,
dad.
well, I mean, adults, I guess, is a better way
That
to
bothers
describe
me
it.
too. Beverly said
I worry
Yes.
about you a lot,
he
Beverly.
wasn't a child molester. Like he got weird at the end of the book.
Really?
He was a borderline child
He
molester at
was-
the end of the book.
At the end
Take
of the
off
book.
your panties. I want to see if those boys have done anything to you. You know.
At
Come
the
on,
end of
Marcia.
the book, but
But that was when it
But
took
that-
control.
right, exactly. He
So-
was. I'm like, there's a distinction. He was a child abuser,
Oh,
not
yeah,
a
he did-
molester.
Which he didn't do in this. I was surprised he didn't hit her in the movie, did he?
Mm-mm.
No.
Well, he was about to do
No,
some
because they-
unsavory shit.
Because they wanted to play, and they
Hmm.
did that with the miniseries too. They made him more of a molester than, and it's like, that bothers me because that's.
Yeah,
Okay,
we-
so what else?
But
Continue on then.
I
What
mean, we
else?
were trying to find something she liked about it.
Oh.
I mean,
Well,
Well, I want to
think-
get through her opinion, then we'll go through
Okay.
our spoilers. and
Edward
stuff.
D just donated $5 with
Yay.
a question.
Okay.
What was Mike's reason for joining the Losers Club in the movie? I don't know if that's an
Oh,
actual
because
question or not.
because
Same
they
as in
defend, yeah,
well,
they
yeah, the
defended
same as in
him.
the
They saved him with the rock fight.
Yeah.
which
Which
they did in the
was
miniseries, and
ridiculous.
which they also did in the
Yeah,
book too.
that
I mean,
rock
that's one
fight
thing that
was
carried over
I
throughout.
hate Henry. I can't
Yeah.
believe they underplayed Henry too.
Okay, to underplayed Henry. How about Patrick Hawkstad?
Oh my god!
Was that
you
not
need
the
to give me
biggest bit of bullshit?
story.
That was the thing that
Whoa,
pissed me off because
Jesus.
the fact that they put him in this movie
Why?
and they say in the descriptionary material he's somebody who puts it. They said in the press releases when they were describing Henry's gang, they're like, there's Belch, there's
Mhm.
Victor, and then there's
And Victor was
Hawkstad,
very
and then there's
eloquent, too.
Hawkstadter, and they mention specifically in the release material that Hawkstadter puts animals in a refrigerator, and it didn't happen.
No,
in the
they
movie.
cut it out.
I don't know.
They
Did
had
they
to.
cut it?
I'm
Why
assuming.
would you want to see that shit?
Because
No,
it shows how fucked up he is as a character.
Okay.
I got that he was fucked up
How?
without that.
I didn't.
How? You saw him for 5 minutes.
Yeah, he was the
That
first
was
to get
enough.
killed.
No.
And I was wishing for
I
leeches.
hated that kid just on his look
No,
alone.
he was a
Henry-
douche,
Henry
obviously,
was
but
like-
didn't you want leeches for God's
Yeah.
sake? And they brought in these zombie
Okay, I
kids
thought that they were going to do the leeches at
in the
Nebo
sewer.
Nebo
Evil
Street.
Street. Yeah.
I thought that because when they opened up the refrigerator, I was like, oh, maybe they'll just do it there. But
Yeah.
then it was Pennywise, which is
Mhm.
it was okay.
So there was turning
But the
expectations
thing,
on their head.
okay, so about that whole part, part that made, I'm like, why even bother even having him there? If A, you're not going to build up his character and have him play that really cool, like, death scene. 2, they don't, even after he dies, all you see is a poster go up.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. They never talk about the fact that he went missing or what that meant.
Yeah,
Henry doesn't get
yeah.
affected by it, like, nothing. And you take away one of the coolest fights, which is Ben kicking the crap out of Henry. When he sits there and stomps him and kicks him in the balls and all that
I thought he
stuff.
did kick him in the balls in the movie.
No, all they did was the
and then
kick.
he fell down.
They
And
just did the initial
I'm pretty
kick.
sure he kicked him in the balls.
Well, what I'm saying is they did the initial kick where he falls down and goes down the hill, and you know.
Which looked a lot more brutal, at least in this, in
Right,
comparison with the
right.
miniseries.
But
Yeah.
they don't follow through the whole fight, and the whole that whole fight actually triggers a lot of Henry's humiliation and anger and hate he has for the Losers Club that helps lead him to his insanity.
This is so all of your issues are compared to the book. Like
Not
it doesn't
true.
feel like you're judging the movie based on just the movie.
I was just talking about that scene.
In fairness, in the comments, it does say that, well, at least most of the comments are that you went in with certain expectations because of the book.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling like
You have to
too.
feel
That's
like
why
a lot
I
of the stuff-
prefaced
some
our
of the stuff
review
No,
the way that I did.
And it's
because
preference. That's all I'm saying.
my point is if you're gonna touch on things, then you might as well follow through with it.
No,
And
because
they
you don't
didn't
have so
follow
much
through
time.
with
It was 2.5
anything.
hours.
It's a different
You don't have
decade
that
and
much
it's a
time to follow
reimagination.
through with stuff.
Well, you don't have to do everything, but if you're gonna touch on one thing, then you might as well do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna take
hold
over
on.
here.
Rubber Soul did say something. It fared better than Dark Tower did.
Well, of
Oh,
course.
of course,
So,
100%.
at least
Shit.
there's
Yeah.
there is a plus.
I didn't watch
There's
it.
a plus.
Yeah.
As someone that
Silver
hasn't read the book but has watched the original miniseries, I thought this just stepped it up in a number of different
Yeah.
ways. Like I loved it so much, and I did see it twice. I saw it the day after the day we saw it.
I'm
So
seeing it again
I
tomorrow.
saw it twice in 3 days, and the second time was in a big screen with awesome sound, and it was still scary at parts.
Yeah.
I was taking a lot of notes because there was a lot of things that I would have mentioned had we been able to mention spoilers, and had we been able to, just remember everything, because there was so much we wanted to hit on.
Man bun?
So, there was what I really liked about the movie, as someone that hasn't read the book, was there were a lot of little awesome details that were funny if you just sort of paid attention.
Mhm.
Like when Ben brought everyone back to show, more details about all the research, and the first thing he does when he runs into his room is pick up all the nudie mags and
Yeah.
hide them.
That was funny.
Like they never showed that they were nudie mags, but that's
got
what
the
they
vibe.
were.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it was like just little things like that.
And the way Bev hid his New Kids on the Block poster.
Yeah, the New Kids on the Block thing I thought
what
was
was
funny.
the joke where he's like, "Don't go, girl," something like that.
Yeah, well, and the
Please don't go, girl.
and she made a joke when she came up to them after he'd been carved up. Like I thought that was a great little runner.
I was happy
made
they did the
perfect
carve
sense.
up. They did not do that in the miniseries.
No.
Fucking Henry does start to carve.
and that's why I was hoping they were gonna
Yeah.
follow through with that scene,
Hmm.
because it's a really good scene. It's a great scene for Ben because it shows that he's actually a pretty badass character.
I'm surprised you didn't like the kid who played Ben. I thought he did a great job.
It's not that I didn't like him. I just don't
Hmm.
like what they did with
You
him.
guys talk about Henry
Yeah.
and him being dead or not. Some people saying he's
Oh,
not
we haven't
dead.
mentioned
Well,
that
well,
yet.
well. That's the thing. Marcia and I both know, and if you've seen the miniseries, he does not die.
He's not supposed to.
Yeah, but they made it seem like he's dead.
They did
obviously.
make it
They
seem
threw
like
him
that.
down the damn well.
But
I mean, they
also,
can still find him.
well, not only that, but he's down there. It does not. He didn't necessarily die, and
Long
Pennywise
He just dropped 6
Pennywise
Yeah.
dropped down, so there's every
But
possibility that
Pennywise is an entity, not.
Yeah.
I know, but Pennywise could feed on him to sort of maintain his strength in the meantime.
Or he could even just save him because of the fact that
That's
we
what I'm
know
saying.
Pennywise
Gradually
isn't dead.
feeding on him, letting him
Yeah.
heal, and then feeding on him to just keep him alive while he's down there. I don't know. Nonetheless, it wasn't definitive, but there was so much. So let's just go through it, and we'll talk spoilers as we go.
Okay.
So let's hit the Georgie scene. I thought it was way scarier than the original.
Which one?
This one was way
No,
scarier. than
no. Which scene?
The very first one.
Fucking
The very
arm being
first
ripped
Georgie
off.
scene, yeah.
I'm like, which scene?
No,
is
yeah,
that?
the
'Cause
very
he
first
had-
one
he had the three.
when you see Pennywise's mouth and it
Yeah.
it juts out like the alien
Yeah.
and chomps the arm, and then it severs the arm, and Georgie tries to crawl away, and then there's that amazing top-down shot of Pennywise's arm coming out of the drain, and it doesn't show it, but it leaves it to your imagination that it just grows abnormally long to grab Georgie and pull him down.
Did you not like that scene, Marcia? The opening scene?
I liked it enough. Yeah, I mean.
See, Pennywise, though, to me, I thought he was both scary with the digital enhancements and without. I thought this Skarsgård's Pennywise, the way he talked, "Hi, Georgie," you know, and like, but without, he's like, just.
It's really not much different from Tim
It
Curry,
was,
but
to me, it
in
was
some
though, and
inflections
especially
it was.
towards the end when he's holding on to Bill, he's like, "I'll take him, I'll take all of you," and he's like, "Whore?" And like when he's like laughing, he's like, you know, like it's so much more unnerving than Tim Curry was with that low, bassy thing through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like Skarsgård went up and down and all over the place, and
Younger
it
guys.
adds to the insanity of Pennywise.
Yeah.
And again, the thing I keep hammering home is that Tim Curry played a clown named Pennywise. Skarsgård played something masquerading as a clown calling itself Pennywise.
There you go.
It was not the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
this thing played it. It was never a clown. It was something always under the surface. Like, that first scene, we're talking about that first scene, that whole dialogue's amazing, but then there's that moment when Pennywise just stops and just stares and drools.
Drooling, yeah, because
Yeah.
he's so hungry.
And he's just like, and it freaks Georgie out. And then, of course, there's the fact that Skarsgård, apparently I found out after we did, afterwards, that Skarsgård, the reason Pennywise's eye kind of wandered off,
Mochetti mentioned this in the flippin'
the actor's
interview.
eye actually does that.
He can do it.
He
like
can
on
do that.
cue.
So whenever Pennywise's left eye was like looking off to the side, it was deeply unnerving to me, and it was just
I'm
something
glad you
that.
noticed that bit. I didn't
Oh my
mention it in
God.
the regular review because Barbara and Andy Mochetti, who are a brother-sister producing, directing team that actually did this film, they said that during the filming, they were out getting drunk one night, Andy and Skarsgård, and he's like, "Check out what I can do," and he like showed the, and he's like, "We gotta incorporate that in, man. It's
It
gonna
is
freak
so
people out."
unnerving.
Yeah.
And it was not digital at all.
Yeah.
No.
But
And they even carried it over to the monsters too.
they did, and not only that, but they sort of, I don't know if it was an homage, but the clown that blocks the exit for Richie,
Yeah.
his eyes are both going different directions.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
it's an unnerving thing. Britt, I saw the movie with Britt, and if you guys, I haven't done, she was going to join us today, but she loved the movie, and Pennywise unnerved the shit out of her. I have never seen Brittany crawl up inside herself the way she did when that refrigerator moment happened.
yeah.
Specifically, huh?
So we will
Oh my God,
we'll
yeah.
get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, so
Yeah, this is where I wanted to chime in with, as we transition from the Georgie scene to all of the different beats that
Yes.
happen with the
Yes.
different kids. I'm with Marcia that I had it felt very Blumhouse, and it felt not very in the spirit of Stephen King. It felt like it was trying to just update things and...
But necessarily.
but it worked
It's
for me.
It worked to a degree for
So
me.
the meat locker
you know?
scene didn't work. I thought the meat locker scene was really effective. Mike Hanlon's first time seeing it after the hands and stuff reach out.
But it was total callbacks to the Black Spot.
No, it wasn't.
you
I
know?
thought it was, but it's not.
No,
But
it's
it was
his
supposed
dad.
to be something
It's his
similar.
parents,
The
yeah.
fact that, you know, the thing happened in the
Yeah.
past with his grandfather or great-grandfather or whatever, and then, you know, lo and behold, you know, same
His
shit
parents.
happened.
He said his
same
parents
shit happened
died.
to
But it
his
was
parents.
parents,
His
yeah.
I know his parents died in a similar situation that his grandfather
Which
escaped.
didn't make sense. Because
And they're saying the Black Spot's going to be in the sequel, so
Well,
or chapter 2
it-
or whatever they're calling it.
it didn't. Well, okay. I thought it was when I thought it was a black spot. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's a little bit better than seeing a raven, which is what his.
Oh,
thing
I
is.
wanted to see a big crazy
Yeah.
bird. Yeah.
I know, but I mean, given this movie, I mean, it makes more sense to have that. It would be.
That's not the way. Sorry.
But when I found out that because there was like all of these, there was like multiple hands coming out, so I'm like, okay, the black spot.
Yeah,
but
more
then they
than
came
4.
out, and then he's like,
Yeah.
oh no, it was like my parents' hands coming out. And I'm like, how many
He
parents
said
does
it's
he
his
have?
family.
No,
his
it was two.
family.
No,
I
it was
thought
his parents.
Just his parents, and
It
they were
was just
trying to
his
get in there
parents.
to save him, and they
Mhm.
both burned up. But-
Yeah.
Either way.
But anyway, no, it was good. I just didn't think it was effective for me. About my biggest qualm was the fact that they decided to have Georgie, and like when Big Bill gets that Georgie scene when he comes back, instead of doing the photograph, they chose to have him go down to the basement. And I didn't think that was effective at all. I think it was
I
like
love
more
that
effective.
scene. Come on.
Which scene are you referring to again? You said,
You know when he
Oh.
because in
where
the
there's the
book.
projector, or where?
No. His,
No, when he follows Georgie
when
down
when
to
he
the
follows
basement.
Georgie downstairs.
Oh, I like that scene a lot. Actually.
No, because I
That was
think
great.
So good.
no, it was stupid. It was so stupid.
Pennywise
Did you like it?
puppeteering Georgie, that was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that's
No.
good.
A lot of people
I didn't
are
like
not
it.
agreeing with you.
That was a
That's
brilliant
okay.
That
scene.
scene was
I
good.
think that if they would have done
Oh
the
my
photograph
God.
thing and done it right, that is way more unnerving.
I honestly
No
felt like they
way.
did the
Falling
photograph
down
scene
to a
just fine in the
basement, it's
miniseries.
just so
You know,
dumb.
I mean, the
It
blood
was
came
way
out.
more
and-
creative. I think the photo thing is way more creative. Than
I
him
thought
falling
the
downstairs.
puppeteering thing was amazing, and it was
Yeah.
followed up by one of the creepiest fucking Pennywise things. When he okay, so yeah, Georgie's talking, and then you didn't see in the trailer that Georgie's face starts eroding and he starts
Yeah.
becoming very corpse-like,
Yeah.
and then you see that Pennywise. The reason you didn't see him come out of the water in the trailer is because he's actually doing Georgie's voice, and you see his arm is up here, and when he comes out of the water, he's actually saying, "You'll float too! You'll float too!" And then he literally slams Georgie into the water and starts running at him like in the trailer, like, "Ah!" And
He almost
kinda
gets
shit.
him as
He
he's
almost
running.
gets him, but the creepiest
Boring.
thing
Seriously?
was when he slams on the
Oh.
stairs
Yeah.
and Bill gets away, but then his eyes roll back into his head and he slithers and slinks back off the stairs.
Nah.
I'd forgotten
That
about
shit
that
was
beat.
so awesome. It shows that again, he's not a fucking clown. He's something acting like a clown. And
Yeah.
it was, and again, I gotta say that if that wasn't in the book, so that was definitely, it had to have been a bit of a throwback to Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Because there is a moment where there's a clown with his arm up the back of the chief of police that does like the whole rah, 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 and he
Yeah.
talks to the main character. Like, and then at one, like he throws the body down, you see him like pull the, and you hear this, and then he just like, so that, if that wasn't in the book, that was an awesome homage to Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Well, I hated that movie too, but.
Okay, so, real quick.
But
Yes.
I just don't think it was effective to me because
I loved
number
it.
one, I'm like, that's
You've
just
seen it in the
dumb.
trailers
So
already?
You can join
Yeah.
our Google Hangouts. Is that a thing?
Yeah, we're gonna do that on Tuesday,
Tuesday,
Brady.
Google
Tuesday,
Hangout, man.
Tuesday.
Tuesday at
Sorry.
7 p.m. Pacific Standard
Tuesday.
Time.
It was one of my very disappointments. Was that
Okay,
whole
well, let's
thing, 'cause I
continue
thought that
on.
was
Wow.
replacement for no. And then when you talked about the projector thing, I thought
Every
that was
film you have is comparing it to the book,
added.
though.
that was added for no
Yeah.
reason. I didn't understand
No,
why
because
that
Projector
was
Scene
there.
was the
Honestly,
best.
honestly,
Was it cool?
the projector scene was
What was
taking
what
The
cool?
projector scene. Was it? Did you like it?
No.
the projector scene for me was
I thought it was
being an
unnecessary.
updated version.
Try it.
No, it was an updated
Try it.
version of when they're looking through the photo album at all the different dairy shit that Mike had put together.
I love the projector
But
scene.
they already did that though.
Well, I mean, they had Ben showing them different
Yeah.
stuff.
So for
but-
those that didn't see
They were
the
trying to locate the well house, I guess.
yeah, which was one change that
You
they
did-
did. How
you did see a part in the trailer where they're watching they're doing the review. They see the sewer overlay of Derry, and then the projector takes over, and you see Pennywise pop up in the hair of Bill's mother
yeah,
in
which
this
is
in the scene.
unnerving.
That was really cool. But what happens then is they kick the projector off the table, and this was literally my favorite scare of the entire movie.
Really?
Both times I saw it, it was my favorite
I
scare.
love how I hate everything you
I
liked about
don't
this
know
movie.
why. It's pissing me
So
off.
Well,
stupid.
so there's a lot of animosity
And
over
it's-
your
that's
opinion, but it's
fine.
an opinion.
It's
a
just
way
an
that-
opinion.
Yeah,
It's
Bill's
okay.
subjective
I'm
to
I'm
that,
fighting
you know.
for it, you guys.
I
I'm
just
fighting
think the
for
source
it.
material is way better than anything
But
that
that
Hollywood
doesn't
put
matter.
together.
Who
That's where you
cares?
gotta-
That's
I
not what
care.
this is.
I care.
This isn't the book review.
I
You did the book review.
care.
This is
Where
the
you-
movie review.
And
This
I
is
watched
where-
the movie and I care.
This is where, to be fair, like you gotta separate yourself.
You have
I
to.
try
really do.
every 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, I have to forgive
Jesus.
that. Okay, I
Yeah.
have to forgive that. Okay, I have to. By the end of the movie, I'm like, why do I have to forgive anything? I don't like it.
Alright, so some people have
End of
said,
story.
are you willing to watch it post-baby?
Suck a dick, and you can bleep that out. But
Oh no.
just because I don't like a movie, it's not because I have a fucking child in my body. It's because the movie wasn't that great. Sorry.
Okay, the movie was amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna divert.
I don't know. Don't tell me you said that because here's the
Marsha will
fuck
kill all of you.
There's
So-
actually
You
a lot of
the
people
fuck
here,
down.
but
The projector. Okay, so the projector scene.
Jesus
After
Christ.
they kick the table, they kick the projector off the table. It goes on the wall, and it freezes on an image, a blurred image of Pennywise in the foreground of whatever slide it is, and it changes slides, and it's just him stuck there. And all of a sudden, it changes slides again, and he's gone.
Oh,
And then
now
he-
I remember
Dude.
why you liked it so much.
And then he pops in, and he's massive. He's 1 story tall. He's
Yeah.
the size of the garage that they're in. And he's got the horrifying teeth jutting out of his mouth. And then he starts crawling. He's so big, he doesn't even fit in the garage, so he's crawling at them.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, it's all the giant monster dreams that I ever had combined with all the terrifying clown thoughts I've ever had. And it's Pennywise trying to grab at me and could literally bite me off at the mid waist. And he's going
Easily.
for Bev, and then they open the garage door and he disappears, luckily. But that scene when he's crawling at them and they can do nothing but scatter,
Yeah.
that got the shit out of me, because it's like,
It's good.
not only is he terrifying as a clown with teeth, but now he's so imposing, and all I can do is run and try and escape. And that's all I would think to do. Like, that part got me, and again, I saw it twice in 3 days, both times. It was so amazing. Because he goes from, the 8mm slide to full HD Pennywise, boom, big and in your face. And oh my god, that part got me so well. I
Well, I'm
love
glad it
that
worked
moment.
for you. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of it did for me because I'm a big Creature fan.
Well,
and it was so
yeah.
clearly a creature.
I thought they were relying heavily more on the clown than the creature aspect.
And you know what?
But
That was actually something I
clown
have to
was
chime
so
in with
good,
though, because a lot of people they were like, yeah, Pennywise was underutilized in the miniseries,
Which
and
is
yet
true.
some people think they showed him too much in this movie.
I don't. It's not
Especially
that I
since he
think
takes different forms and stuff.
I-
They're like, why does he keep taking this fucking clown form all
Yeah.
the time? You know, what kid is scared of the clown? Even Bev at the end is
Oh
like,
my god, when
I'm not scared
Richie
of you. You know.
when
and-
Richie said he was afraid of clowns, I wanted to punch somebody in the face.
Yeah, where's the whole and they showed Paul Bunyan and yet they didn't do anything with that, you know.
Yeah,
And,
I was like, okay, and then
They
the
showed
only
the statue for God's
the only
sake.
mention of the turtle was when they were swimming in the quarry.
Well, and there was also the turtle.
The
and
turtle he
Bill's
was holding
room
and
or
it fell and
whatever.
smashed when he was going down to see Georgie in the basement.
Yeah. So okay. So this actually leads me to the one scene in particular, and I think I alluded to this with a commenter that I was really sad we didn't see in this. I wanted to see the Smokestacks Scene really, really badly.
you just see it in the
More
background.
book criticism.
Yeah, no. This was like the one thing that I thought with over almost 2.5 hours. That's
Like
where
they could have used it.
That's where, and yet somebody tempered my criticism of that by saying, well, there's going to be flashbacks in the sequel that they're currently writing, and they're at least
But it
trying
wouldn't
to
fit
set.
into the story, though. I don't think it would.
Well, I mean, if this was the
'Cause they did- well,
maybe
they
not in the
didn't
book
touch-
story, but I mean, remember how there was flashbacks back and forth during the book and during the miniseries,
I don't think they're
and
gonna
so
do that though.
they said that they're
even
going
if-
to. They said
And
that
even
they
if
actually.
they do, it doesn't make sense that they would do that because they already played on everybody's fear. So
They did, but I mean, flashbacks at least happen all the time in the miniseries and in the book, and they said that apparently a few of the scenes they deleted from this movie are going to be flashbacks in the second part, in Chapter 2.
yeah.
And so I'm hoping maybe, since they're alluding to the fact that there's going to be more information about Pennywise and what he is and so on and so forth, and some people disagree with that. I saw certain reviewers that I respect on YouTube saying, I'm glad that they didn't go into it because the mystery of a monster is better than when you cross all the T's and dot all the I's and connect the dots for people.
I'm fine with it being a mystery
the
this
unknown
time.
is frightening, but they're going to delve more into what he is and the fact that he's an interdimensional, demonic, whatever the fuck you want to.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, that's fine. I'm
Maybe.
excited about that. But I have a couple
Maybe.
of quick points to make.
Cool.
A couple of little details that I'd forgotten, but I
Yeah.
wanted to mention
Oh,
because
no,
I loved
please
them the
do.
second time
Go
through.
for it.
Because I literally pulled my phone out and was making notes during the movie.
Go for
At Ben's place, when they first get there, they first all walk in the room, and this goes towards some of the awesome Richie lines. When they all walk in, Ben's like, "Cool, huh?" And Richie's like, "No, not cool." I thought that shit was really funny. Bevan bids New Kids on the Block, and I guess he's got the right stuff.
Yeah.
When she walks up, I thought that was good.
Right.
There was a really great thing when Bev had the moment before the blood. When
Did you like the blood scene, Marcia?
I thought they did a good job with the
They
blood.
did. That was like
you
very.
didn't
well
think it went
shit.
to Grudge level with the hair and everything?
No.
I thought it was great.
No, I thought it was fun.
Okay.
Yeah, that scene was
The
awesome.
great thing about that scene was right before when she gets in there and she sits in the tub to read this thing, the music swells and it's amazing, and then you hear the voices and the music discordantly fades off. I paid attention the second time around. The music played a big
Yeah.
role in setting the tone of this movie. Like, it's like this beautiful love story swell as she's reading it. My heart burns there too.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then she hears the voices, "Help me," and then it's like,
I still think that they did that
like, it
scene
was so good.
really good in the miniseries. You know, I still contend that they did that scene very good in the miniseries.
I think they did
I'm not,
too.
no one's saying it was bad in this one.
Oh, I know. I mean, but comparatively.
Yeah.
You know?
I think they did good too, and I think they did a good job bringing them back to clean it.
I thought the measuring tape was gross when she pulled the measuring
That's
tape
in,
out.
that's in the
That's
book.
in the book.
That,
Oh,
was
okay,
actually
that was cool.
something,
That
yeah.
was good.
Yeah, that's
No,
and
I
yet
was
that's a
really
second time
happy
when she
with
comes
that.
back to investigate.
I w-
Remember,
the only-
after they clean it is when she puts the tape.
I'm just gonna
The
keep
only
mentioning things that make you say I was really happy with that, which just goes against your "I hated this movie."
Well, I do hate the movie, but there's still things that they did good.
Did you like?
All right, go ahead. Continue. Sorry.
Did you like Bowers getting the knife mailed to him, which was out of the book?
Mm.
And you didn't think since
Yeah.
Bowers was he killed his dad at
Oh
least,
my god, yeah.
and he killed him in the pretty much
I think
same fashion. I mean,
I'm-
which he didn't do in the.
I think the
in
reason why they
miniseries, obviously.
underplayed Henry Bowers is because
The actor wasn't there.
No, I don't think it's that at all. I think they really wanted, and it's okay, they really wanted to focus on Pennywise and wanted to focus on him being the evil in the town, when in the books, it was pretty head-to-head with Henry and it.
And even in the miniseries, I felt like they
Yeah.
balanced the menace of the bullies, like, and they felt like
And
they got more
really
screen time. You know?
downplayed the bullies,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
they
I
did.
thought was really interesting choice. And I mean that's fine. And like that, sure there was times that kind of bothered me because we missed out on some things, but I almost feel like they could have probably I don't know how they could have made that better, but if they would have just put a little bit more effort into them, I think it would have made more sense with the collaborative of the group and going together because.
Well, yeah, and the fact that they're facing like otherworldly forces and regular
yeah.
shit too, you know.
Yeah.
So
A couple of other little quick points. I thought Bill's speech, and especially one line, was walking into this house is easier than walking into my own.
Yeah.
After Georgie's been missing all this time,
Yeah,
and
that
that
was
was the
rough.
speech where he didn't stutter.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a great moment.
Mhm.
I also wanted to mention the TV that was playing whenever
Oh,
she
yeah.
went into Bev's house.
That was really interesting.
sewers, you're welcome.
It was really interesting, like, because it was also in Henry Bowers' house, and it was one of the themes they played out in other houses. You just, if you're
you're paying
paying
attention, you can hear it.
Kill
them all.
Come on, kids, go to the sewers. You can play down there, and you'll float too.
Right, those little aspects were cute.
Yeah.
Those were funny.
And then right up, that's the TV is what told Henry to kill his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Well, it's Pennywise. Yeah, it was
Well,
a
yeah.
good way for them to interpret Pennywise feeding into these different characters in Derry to get them to do what he wants them
Yeah,
to do.
and for that aspect, I'm positive Bowers is not dead.
No, they can't kill Bowers
Bowers
because
is
he's
not dead. He
the
plays such a
scapegoat.
big part in the adult portion with, spoilers, book spoilers at least, and miniseries spoilers. I mean, he almost kills Eddie. He almost kills Mike,
Mhm.
and
Right.
he plays a crucial portion in that.
But-
Oh yeah, we're spoiling. Sorry, I was like, wait, we're.
But he's the scapegoat for it because
But,
it has
because
a scapegoat. It
after
always
he
has a scapegoat.
reemerges with the white hair, he basically takes responsibility for all the murders of
Yeah,
all those
of
kids. And that's when they
everybody.
put him in Juniper Hill.
And that's when
You know?
everybody puts on their masks and everything's fine.
Yeah,
and
they're like,
that's-
oh, we found the killer. Everything's
Yeah.
cute. 30 years later, fuck.
Yeah,
All right.
and that's I don't know. So I mean, I don't think he's gonna die, but just how he just falls down
It
the
looked
well.
pretty bad. It looked death-worthy, didn't it?
Another fun thing was the set dress and the time placement and the marquees. If you looked at the marquee, you saw the first time it appeared, both Batman and Lethal Weapon 2 are on the marquee.
Yeah, and then Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
Nightmare on Elm Street 5 a few
Although
months
they didn't
later.
call it the Aladdin, which pissed me off. Why did they change that for both the miniseries and the movie?
I don't know.
Understood.
Alright, and then also a funny detail was when Richie yells out, "Rock fight!" he literally takes a rock in the face at the end of it.
Yeah.
That was a funny little moment.
And I like
thought
the
that was great.
anthrax that they used there. There's fucking, some speed metal to make it, a little more of the time. I thought that was cool.
So let's talk about the scene, the refrigerator scene, which was essentially the house on Neibolt Street scene. So when they go in there,
Which time?
What?
I'm excited about the refrigerator scene.
okay, so
Don't get
anyway,
that excited.
they go in and of course it's Bill, it's Richie, and it's the
And Eddie.
Eddie, right?
That's
Eddie.
it.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
only people that went in.
The only
from
people that
Neibolt
went
Street.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about frustration for Marcia.
Yeah,
But Eddie gets separated, and he deals. Well, we didn't even talk about the leper. The leper, when he first
I was happy about
when he
the
first
leper.
chased, the leper looked scary AF.
He wasn't
to me.
talking about dick sucking or anything.
No,
thankfully,
No, but he was
at
scary,
least he made a
dude.
present.
He was so
I mean,
scary
no
with his
nose
missing
and
nose and the messed up eye, and like, oh, he was so. And then the fact that he had the pill on his tongue the second time, he was like, "Take your pill, Eddie."
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, that was horrifying. And then Eddie falls in the hole and hits the table and snaps his arm.
Yeah.
It's another change from because Bowers breaks his arm in the book.
Right.
So, yeah.
Either way, snaps his arm,
But they were
and then
downplaying
we see the refrigerator. And the refrigerator opens up as Pennywise's hand comes through the edge. And Pennywise is in, all twisted up, and he starts to emerge, and his body essentially unwinds.
Yeah.
Very digital effect, sure. But I thought this is the point at which Brittany crawled up inside of herself.
Really?
When she went, she was like, "Oh, ah!" But the best part of that scene to me, the best part of that scene to me was immediately after he had unfolded and like shaken himself out. Then he looked like he was gonna lunge at Eddie, but he actually just took one step and like did like a slow sort of thing, and then he did this thing.
Well, that's because he was trying to freak him out, just like I
He
said
was,
in
no,
the
that's what
non-
I'm saying. He did this move though,
Just
where
like
he
in
did
the
this like
non-spoiler.
he did a step, and then he did this step. It was like he did
was
this
very
whole
clown-like.
vaudeville clown
Yeah.
performance as he's approaching, and it was so terrifying for me.
Yeah.
Like I was like, they didn't even have to like add like the weird janky effects. He just did, like if they did, it was subtle enough that it just was so unnerving. Like, oh my god, I loved that scene so much. And then he gets to Eddie and he's like taunting him. He's like, he's like, he holds his arm. He's like,
Am I gonna eat it? Am I gonna
oh
eat
my
it?
god, it was so awesome that he's like, like you get
But
mad
that was
and
a constant theme throughout the
dude.
entire film. Is that, like I said in the non-spoiler, he's playing with his prey. He's just like a spider, like toying with the fly. It's gonna
What
eventually.
spider?
Eventually, no.
Saw-
We saw a
Oh,
spider.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
we actually saw a spider preview in this, didn't we? And yet, as kids in the book, Marcia and I both know they do encounter a spider. And as far as the original miniseries goes, that was the biggest criticism of it, was just the manifestation of the spider.
Because nobody
It was
understood it because
1990 though.
they
you know.
didn't explain
I still
it.
don't think it was done that bad.
It was
Yeah.
horrible in the
I
miniseries. Are you
don't think
kidding
so.
me?
I
No,
don't
I
think
think
so.
the
It was true
problem
to
they
the book,
ran
and they didn't give it
into-
proper context.
Right. The problem they ran into was that they didn't explain it well enough, and the reason why they didn't explain it, why it wasn't explained well enough, is because they cut out all this stuff that explained the fact that Pennywise was a creature
A woman. Well, it was
and a
female.
woman. Yeah. It wasn't just about the clown. It was about
And a pregnant female,
Yeah.
and also that was like dropping all those different eggs that Ben goes around smashing and stuff.
Oh, there was the egg scene though.
Mm.
You know what?
Hmm.
I don't
He's
remember.
having
Oh
an
no, I
epiphany.
must have missed the egg scene because I did leave for about 10 minutes to go get us popcorn and stuff the same time I saw it.
There's no eggs in
There
this
was an
one.
egg scene
In this one?
where he follows the eggs.
No, you're talking about the Easter eggs.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's not
no,
what
we're
we're
talking
talking
spider eggs.
Oh, spider eggs.
Spider eggs,
Oh, no,
yeah.
I
Pennywise is not only the entity that is Pennywise, at least in the book, is not only female, but it's pregnant.
Mm-hmm. But
Well,
anyway.
nonetheless,
Anyway.
let's talk about
Doesn't matter.
What about the Georgie scene at the end?
I wasn't expecting that.
I
That
thought
was awesome.
I thought that the shot to the head when there was no shots left was really interesting because it emphasized the power of belief.
This is the
and the
only
fact
thing
that-
that they had,
Yeah,
They
and yet,
didn't have the.
and yet, can I say that?
Wait, what?
Those
The shot to the what?
when he
Because
shot
the
him in the
last
head,
one.
remember there were no shots left in
Yeah,
there.
that was just Pennywise playing along.
No.
No,
No,
because
no.
that's when he
That's
Sort
when
of
he was
squirming
hurt.
around
I thought he
and
was just
changed
playing
around.
along.
No,
He
he
was
was
just fucking
actually
around.
hurt. And,
Yeah,
and
he
it was
was
because
actually hurt, and that's why he
they
had to go to
believed
the other
because it was
form. Yeah.
because Bill thought he
He thought there were
believed
still
that
shots in there.
even though it was empty, he was all like, "This is gonna affect you," and that
I'm gonna
affected
shoot
him.
my
and
brother
it hurt
even
him
though he's
more.
trying to. Yeah.
Oh.
And it
Once
hurt him
again.
more than the first shot.
I didn't pick up on that. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
that was
that.
big time just belief in the
I thought he
power
was
of
just
the
fucking with
process.
him like, oh, you got me, you know, like that.
No,
kind of thing.
that's
But
why
no,
he
he did start to
squirmed
fade away,
when he was
which
hurt.
is actually a good point. This is something, and it's really funny. It might be like a duh Cecil kind of thing or not, but something that I noticed when I first watched it, but I didn't put together until afterwards, was the first time. Oh, and this is a good thing to talk about too. Was at the end of Nebold House when Bev comes in and shoves the spike
Right through his
through his
face.
head and through his face, and then he starts to change, and he like grows this. His mouth stretches across the
Yeah,
side
they
of
were
his
trying
face.
to do the werewolf.
But it was
Yeah.
so much cooler, I
Which they
think, with the
hinted at
messed
the
up
plot
clown
and stuff
mouth.
too, yeah.
But if you
You know
notice,
what
when
I'm
she did, his blood and his parts, all of it floats.
Mhm.
Like it never went down, and you see it, and you're like you see it, and you're like, oh, that's weird. But it didn't register to me that his blood floats.
Yeah.
His part, like when he starts to fade away, it all floats. He floats. Like it's really cool. Like it's just a minor detail that they added in this that I thought was amazing.
Which,
Yeah.
speaking of floating, you guys feel like you're floating? You want to go outside? No, we can't. We're dead. How about all of those kids at the top of, like, I thought that was one of the best shots in the entire movie,
Yeah, it was
where you
pretty
looked
cool.
upward and you saw all of those victims
On top
down
of the
there.
spawn
And
throw.
so-
That was awesome.
And
Yeah.
instead of having them being spun in spiderweb.
Spiderwebs, yeah. I
Yeah.
thought that was a
I
little more
thought-
effective, personally.
I thought it looked, given what they were trying to do, yeah, it made sense, and I
Yeah.
thought it looked cool, and it was unnerving to see
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
Now,
Did you like the Deadlights reveal? When Bev has to confront Pennywise by herself, not only does his mouth get big, but his whole face opens up and reveals a very Langoliers-ish.
he was almost like a fucking shark, too, with all those layers of teeth.
Tons of
and
layers
stuff,
of
rows
teeth and
rows
just three
rows.
lights that made her sort of go blind because she wasn't afraid. So I guess he can't kill the ones that aren't afraid of him, but he can paralyze them and keep them around and sort of feed on them a little bit at a time or something.
Until the
But-
Sleeping Beauty kiss resurrects.
That was weird.
That was actually lame.
That was really
in my
lame.
Like,
opinion.
well, we can't make them fuck, so.
Yeah,
That was a
which
rough
happens
moment.
in the book, and in the book, like, he's the only one, remember, that like gets her off. It's kind of funny.
Oh,
no,
jeez.
it's true.
I thought he was the only
Martial
one that
arts.
finishes. I didn't think he was the only one that made
No.
her
He's,
finish.
well, he's the one that does.
He's the one that is like
The
the,
girth.
biggest.
He knows how to lay it down.
Yup, and then she gets Bill afterwards, and she's like, "This isn't as good, but it's still."
Oh, poor. Okay, and I guess I was really annoyed that they kept calling him Billy and not Big Bill. And
Yeah.
and
Honestly, Bill in this did not do it for me
No.
like the Sequest kid did. He did not feel like as much of a leader
I liked Bill.
for me. You know, as much of an assertive leader kid. You know, the way they describe him in the book as
he
being
didn't
taller
even
than
do
everybody.
the stutter
as being,
right. You didn't even know when he was stuttering. I was like, what, did he
Yeah,
just
the
stutter
stutter
or
felt
did he
very
stutter?
acting.
It
I'll
was
agree, but
not
then
very-
again, it felt that way with Brandis too.
Kevin
so, I
Kitchie
mean,
agrees with you. Says he was flat.
Yeah, I mean that's why I keep mentioning
didn't-
fucking Wolfhard. That's why I keep mentioning Ben and Bev. That's why I keep mentioning Eddie because
Listen.
I thought those kids were great.
The other thing that bothered me was the only person that said beep beep Richie was Pennywise.
Even
That
though
was
it's a
weird.
constant thing
Not
throughout
only
the
that-
entire story.
No, but there was in the second time I watched it, there's literally a moment in the alley where Bill's like, "Shut up, Richie," and it's like, just fucking say beep beep, Richie, right
They're the
there,
ones
and
who
then you're
originated
good.
it. Come on.
Yeah, like that was
Yeah.
weird. That I agree with.
Yeah.
That was frustrating.
Why?
We found one.
Why?
Yeah, we found
Why
that.
would you do that? And
Okay,
it
wait.
really annoyed me.
The gazebo line was really funny though.
Throwing the gazebo.
You
down.
see, they're
This is
gazebos,
gazebos!
Mom! Like, that was so funny.
Yeah, and that's where I felt so much for the Bev character because they really amped up her persecution from other girls and the rumor spreading about her being a slut and all this stuff. Like, I felt so much for her. And, I mean, that's why I like Ben and Bev so much, and that's why I felt like they paired the best together, despite the fact that she's smooching on fucking Bill at the end, which makes sense because, you know, in the book, they bang Bill and Bev right before they go in.
But then she ends up with Bev.
Yeah, but his wife and everything, I mean, it feels very much so like Stephen King vicariously living through what he would like to do versus what he should do. Mm-hmm. You know, he actually does that a lot in his books.
Yeah.
You know? So.
H2 Kyle says, if you didn't notice, Pennywise's face opens up like the makeup on his face is drawn.
Yeah, the forehead especially.
That was all. I didn't realize that. That's a great little detail to pick up on.
Can I actually say, since we're kind of winding down and we're getting close to an hour, as much as I loved not everything, as much as I really enjoyed a lot about this movie, one of my biggest criticisms that I'm sure Marcia would probably concur with is I didn't like the final fight with Pennywise. I didn't feel like they really vanquished him in a manner that was deserving of his villainy. They're like sticking him with stuff and blah blah blah, and then he just jumps down the drain and stuff. I felt like the power of belief with shooting stuff. Yeah, and just as fear. You know, shooting the melted down silver in the miniseries and in the book and stuff. I felt like that had much more weight than just them kind of, we're not afraid of you, and we're going to stick you with things, and then you're going to jump down, and, you know, you're dead, right? And we're like, yeah, he's dead, well, we'll make a blood up, because we're all pretty sure he's not fucking dead. Yeah. You know, it didn't have that essence of epicness that I felt like it needed, especially...
I didn't feel like it had it in the first one, though. He just dropped down a pipe. He never...
But I felt like what they did to him, though...
I
mean, not in the miniseries either, but...
And then bad CG went down the pipe.
The tough thing is that in the book, the final fight with the kids and the final fight with the adults happens pretty much at the same time in the novel, you know, because it all traces together at about the same time, and so... Yeah, I just didn't feel like it was as epic of a defeat as, and especially for them to think he's
dead. It did feel like a little bit of
a
cop-out. I did like the fact that they did bring back out each individual person's fear for them to defeat.
Oh yeah, as he was trying to split them all apart at the end. That was very good. That's what I liked everything up until the very, very final bit of them sending him down the drain.
Yeah, it was a little anticlimactic.
Well, yeah, when all those burnt arms started reaching out of his mouth at Mike, I thought that was a great moment. Although, did we
Mike
see...
was so underutilized,
was it supposed to be
disappointed me, because he's the one who does the journal entries, dude.
Was it supposed to be a mummy going after Ben?
Yeah.
Because we never saw Ben's mummy.
No, they changed it.
We saw a very brief bit of a mummy. It was like an Easter egg, like a brief little shot.
Yeah, and then because they did the Easter egg hunt in the library instead of him doing, and that whole
honestly,
him running
that was
into Bowers,
the
and then all of a sudden they were
the headless, and I didn't like that.
And the whole Henry Bowers pulled him all the way to the bridge to do that fight scene, which was just kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is. I don't know. I felt like they had a lot of opportunities, but they didn't quite get me there. I didn't think that the writing was enough. It didn't flow enough for me to make sense. You don't have to do everything, but at least if you're gonna do stuff, make it make sense. And I feel like some of the changes that they didn't enhance it, changing from Mike Hamlin being the person that had all this history to Ben was unnecessary.
Especially since Mike got so little screen time in the first place.
And it makes me wonder if they're going to switch it where Ben is the one who's... But Pete was like, you know what? How they should have ended it? You should have just heard a phone ring and be like, hey Stan, it's Mike. And then end it that way. That would have been badass.
Yeah.
Someone said talk about the dance scene, and I loved the little performance when Bev was down there, and she sees this weird stage when we first reveal the giant spawn collection of all of the things that he's got down there.
And that's what brings them back together.
And then
being kidnapped.
Yeah, and then the stage drops down, and you see Pennywise standing there in front of this cool, sort of visual but play representation of what looks like a portal to hell, essentially. And he's standing in front of it, and the music starts, and he just starts like, and like, his legs are going like this, but his head, like they keep his head almost still, like while they're doing that, like that digital enhancement. It was so freaky, and then Bev tries to run, and he just jumps right out at her. God, it's so, like, there were so many beautiful visuals, and I really liked Mama. A lot of people didn't like Mama, which was the last horror movie this director made.
Rob was saying there was a nod, like an Easter egg to Mama in this, and obviously since
Wouldn't
I haven't
surprise
seen
me.
it, I didn't catch it.
Wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, like I loved that dancing moment. I thought that was amazing.
I agree.
You didn't-
No, because at that point, it's not Pennywise anymore. It's not supposed to be Pennywise well, it's not supposed to be clown anymore. It's supposed to be about the creature. It's supposed to be about the final fight.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And then
So
they
then
made
did
her
you-
being the one looking at the deadlights and said,
Did you not?
"Bill."
Well, I mean, did you like the beat of
Oh, the
them?
flute lady. They said
Capturing her then, or not so much then.
Him capturing Bev.
Yeah, exactly. And using that as the plot point.
That's
mean,
actually a good thing.
I actually didn't really. I mean, the way that they all fought after Newbold Street,
It was
felt
so
very forced and
anti-character.
just kind of like, okay, whatever. And then
Because they were
September, Bev's kidnapped. Let's get the gang back together, and they just went to it. Those
that
were
was-
some of my few quips about it that I couldn't talk about in the non-spoiler.
Quibbles,
But quibbles, well, disagreements, I
Quips
guess.
and jokes.
Okay. My constant corrector with good reason.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
Did you like the flute lady, the painting that came to life?
I mean, she's okay.
I thought
It's
that was
alright.
awesve, and I loved the
Blumhouse to
moment.
me.
But it's
I
not-
love
like, am I watching The Nun? or
No, but it
whatever?
was so cool when they busted in and she was half eating Stan's face.
Yeah.
That moment
part-
was awesome.
That part was fantastic.
Dude, that was so
I
good.
will
They
sit
come
down
in and
with
like
you for
it's like sucking on his face, and it like opens up, and he's just like like that. And I love the follow up where he's legit pissed at the friend. You told me I'd be okay, and you said we'd all stick together, and I didn't want to come in here and fuck you guys. You hate me, and all this shit.
And
I was like,
spoilers, you wonder why he
Jesus.
fucking kills himself.
That's gotta
My
be
God.
it. Imagining staring into the deadlights while this thing is eating your fucking face. And not only is it a thing, but it's this weird. Again, that was the thing that reminded me of the Crooked Man from the movie.
I'm gonna go take a bath.
And it was like, it was this weird.
Hey.
It was like the Scream, the painting, the Scream came to life and grew
Yeah.
teeth.
So a lot of people in chat are saying that Mama was the flute lady.
Okay.
So
Really?
maybe,
Oh.
maybe that's what Rubber Soul was saying.
Maybe.
I need to rewatch Mama. I remember really loving it.
Yeah, I
I've
like
seen
that
the
movie.
short, but I've never seen the full film. So.
It was good.
It was a good
It
one.
was good. Yeah, I had forgotten about that moment. That was
Was it
great.
R-rated?
What? What was already?
Was
Mama?
Mama
I
R-rated?
don't think so. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Speaking
either.
about R ratings, though, this definitely earned its R rating
Yeah.
for F-bombs and gore and stuff like that. I mean, did you not like the scene where he was holding the arm, he's like chewing on it and stuff?
No.
That was
Yeah.
hilarious.
That made me laugh.
I don't know. I didn't like. Honestly, I think the biggest disappointment was the kids and the fact that there was a lot of this going on, especially with Richie and Ben kind of like bailing on Bill, which is really irritating because already
With Ben, I can understand, but not as much with Richie.
Ben was always there, man. He always stuck up. He was brave and he was smart and he fucking came together and he always had, found a way where they could defeat it and he had all the ideas.
Well, I mean, everybody had their role. Eddie was the navigator, and Ben was the
Architect.
yeah.
Can I say another line I really liked was when they left when they left helping Bev clean the bathroom, and Richie's just riding the bicycle around them all, and he's just like, there's one line where he's just like, yeah, before the sink went all Eddie's mom's vagina back
Yeah.
there. Like, that shit.
Yeah.
He was
was
so
funny.
good at delivering those
No,
lines.
Eddie was
dude.
really good. Richie was
Richie, yeah.
really
Yeah.
good. I like that.
Finn Wolfhard.
Now-
Best
He knocked it.
non-porn name.
I want to
ever.
end with one last thing that is the biggest disappointment.
Okay.
No, your
The house-
biggest disappointment.
The House on Newbold Street was my biggest disappointment.
The
Was
chick
it?
that,
Despite the
chick
fact
that
that we
wrote
finally saw
Loser
it?
on Eddie's cast was the oldest sister in Mama.
Glad you saw that.
That's
Ah,
cool. That's
okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Well,
So
there you go,
the reason
She's
why
a
it was
bitch,
my
too.
biggest
Okay.
disappointment was because A, not everybody went in. B, the house on Newbold Street was supposed to be like a fun house.
Mhm.
And they didn't utilize that as much
For
as
Richie
they could.
not to go in, especially, or at least initially,
Yeah.
you know, when he
And-
saw
and
the
then
werewolf there.
When they did the werewolf, I thought it was such a cop out because all they did was like, I got you, Ben. Later. You know, I thought that was. I thought it was a big cop out because it was like, man, the house looks fantastic.
Did you
they
not
could've
laugh
done
about the
so
3
much.
doors though?
Eh.
Oh, I love
laughed
the 3
about the
doors.
3 doors.
Why
Very
was that
scary,
funny?
not scary at all.
And then they picked the not.
They picked the not scary at all, of course. I mean,
Yeah,
what else
that's
would you do if
like,
you're...
I would pick
Come
the
on, man.
scariest because that would be like, well,
I
obviously he's
wouldn't-
trying to get me to go through this.
I love the
door.
fact that they went through not scary at all, and it was a half a girl. It was the torso,
Yeah.
and like I wouldn't want to know what's in the middle and the farther door if that was in not scary at all, because it might be by Pennywise's imagination, not theirs. But let's see.
See, I
Someone
had the
else.
opposite thinking. I would have been like, well, he obviously wants me to go through this door, so fuck that. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
through this door.
We didn't touch on the clown room, but I felt like almost all the clown room was in the trailer.
It was okay.
Almost all the clown room was in the trailer. You saw the one clown turning to follow him as he went in, then you saw Pennywise pop out.
This
Yeah,
felt
and
And
that
then
was-
Pennywise
I
lunges
feel
at
like
him.
that was
and
time
that's
they could
it.
have used for something else.
Yeah, I'm actually with Marsha on that. That was another one of those scenes that was not in the book where they were trying to give different scares for different characters, and it
It
just
didn't-
it was okay.
It's because they made, instead of making Richie afraid of the werewolf, they made him afraid, or the eye. Really, it was the
Mhm.
eye for Richie, but
Even the Paul Bunyan thing we talked about
yeah.
too.
Like, those things were just like, oh, here's the Paul Bunyan, and here, wink, wink to the book lovers, and oh, the sandpipes in the background, wink, wink to the
Yeah.
book lovers. Oh, here's a turtle, wink, wink.
Yeah,
You
Easter
know.
eggs as they call them. Yeah.
So hold on. So somebody has a legitimate
Yeah, I
question,
saw that
and
too.
they want to know what. part
Kissy
you
Bug
actually-
414.
Yes,
Or
Kissy Bug.
Chrissy Bug.
Whatever. She wants to know what part you actually liked. What part of the movie you really did like.
Oh, I already explained. I like the blood scene with Beverly. I thought they did a really good job with that one.
That was like your highlight of the movie. If
Yeah.
you cut a trailer, you'd cut mainly.
And what part didn't you like at all? That was the part 2 of her question.
What was the worst part?
Yeah,
My
the
big,
worst-
my biggest disappointment was Newbold Street, but
Yeah.
I don't know. The worst part of it, I just I couldn't get over. There was a lot I couldn't get over, obviously, but I think the acting was the biggest because I thought the acting was really hard.
Oh my lord, that's wow.
Yeah.
Because I thought the camaraderie and the chemistry
I didn't
between
get
those
it.
kids was
I
one
did
of
not
the best
see-
parts
I did
of
not
that movie.
see any
Stephen
chemistry.
Fuego, what's your favorite part?
Yep, Stephen King fan just asked you what your favorite part was. You kind of just said
Logicals.
his favorite.
Favorite part for me, probably seeing Georgie's scene in such a grisly fashion. Although I didn't like him getting pulled into the sewers.
No,
But seeing his arm ripped off.
that arm, Pennywise's arm reaching out of the thing, and
Yeah.
the allusion to the arm growing, I thought that was amazing.
The fact that that's the one consistent scene through the book, through the miniseries, through the movie,
Through the fan comic.
Yeah, the fan comic, exactly.
Which
we
the review
we need
is
to give a
coming
shout
on
out
Wednesday.
for. What's the name of that guy? Put it
You
together.
know what? Let me grab it.
Yeah,
to make
we
sure
should.
I get
we
it
should.
right.
Yes, we have it right here.
Ah.
It's
So-
Vincent.
It's an R.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rush.
Vincent Rush.
Yeah,
I was
Vincent
trying to
Rush.
read his signature, and then I was like, oh wait, it's written in type.
Yeah, he
Vincent
did.
Rush.
He sent us a fan comic, which is essentially a portrayal of the first scene. We did a review of it. It's going to come out on Wednesday if you guys want to check that out.
It is a fantastic comic.
Fantastic
Damn.
fan comic right
so,
there.
So awesome. And I mean, if I was gonna do a second thing, I would say probably the reveal when you look upward in Pennywise layer and see all the people floating up there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a really awesome shot.
Part
And
two.
yet, and yet cinematography. This was a beautiful looking film,
Oh,
at
yeah.
least,
It
right?
was.
I mean,
It was
the
really
shots
pretty.
of Derry were beautiful.
It
All those
was
drone
good to
shots
be in
and
Maine
stuff.
again.
It was. I'm sure. Now, did they actually film it?
I don't
So
know.
it makes me
I went
wonder.
to look, but
Yeah.
it looks Maine enough.
Yeah, Brett Warden, I agree. I think part 2 is probably going to aim for 2019, maybe 2020, but probably 2019.
They're saying 2019, especially with the rampant success of this. This movie
Ooh,
broke.
Mrs. Monster's here.
This movie broke the Thursday preview record that Deadpool previously had,
Yeah.
which was at like 15 or so. This did almost 20, and everyone was like, "Yeah, it's gonna do like 40 or 50 million." Just Friday, it did over 50.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
It's at 70 from the first 2 days?
So, this movie
Dude,
is
I predicted 80.
Rush.
I was
Yeah.
saying it could make 20 million each day. It went to
They're
50
now,
on
they're
Friday?
just Friday. They're now
Holy
they're now
shit.
predicting it's going to go over 100.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, I don't want to say
I
For
anything
an R-rated
except
horror movie.
that Death Twitch posted something saying, "Is all this hype anything? Is this movie going to do well?" And I said, "I think this will be the highest-grossing horror movie of all time."
It was which The Exorcist previously was, but everybody was like, "This might."
How much did The Exorcist
There's
make?
a lot of hype.
Well, I
about
mean,
it.
there's the altering dollars back then to now and all that shit. So that is the standing.
It's gonna beat it.
That's the
It's gonna
standing.
beat it. It was too amazing.
100 million. A lot of people in chat are saying they're
I'm
most
hot.
likely looking at.
Oh,
it.
51
Honestly,
million
I'm-
included Thursdays.
Yeah,
says
yeah. So
someone.
it was the Thursday preview screenings and then the Friday screenings. I'm honestly.
Would I put this in my top 5 favorite movies? Me personally, my top 5 favorite horror
Favorite
movies. I very
ever?
much might put it in my top 5.
I
No.
definitely wouldn't ever.
No.
No, but it was enjoyable.
I enjoyed it that much
No.
because I don't have the book baggage.
You know, and
I
granted,
enjoyed it that
I think
much.
if I did,
The book
if I
bag.
didn't like,
No,
if
the
I
book-
didn't like the book, then I probably would have liked this movie. Maybe the pacing really bothered me, and the story writing and the acting still really.
You see,
bothered me.
I love the acting. I'm still with Marsha though. And as you guys may have seen if you watched our non-spoiler review, I said I wanted this movie to be longer, and he was like, "Yeah, it could have been a little shorter." You know, so and that's just a credit to Stephen King and how back when he was on drugs and insane
Yeah.
and writing stuff, because he still says he doesn't really remember writing this book.
Yeah.
It's really funny to me.
Soul Thompson
So-
says, "I wonder how much of Cary Fukunawa's was lost in the final script."
Well,
Good
you're going to
segue.
find out tomorrow because of the fact that the preview for part 2, or chapter 2, I guess I should say, because you see at the end of this film, end of chapter 1, I found on Reddit the original Cary Fukunaga, and there's some other guy who co-wrote it with him, but I read the first 10 pages today. It's actually very, like, beat for beat, except for Richie showing up when Bill is sick. And they call Bill Will instead, which is a little weird. Yeah, Will and Willie and so on, but it's only 140 pages,
Big
so
Bill.
it's going to be a quick read. And tomorrow on Hail to Stephen King on Sunday, I'm going to be doing a video which is why I love it and looking forward to the
Yeah.
second chapter.
I'm gonna still watch the second chapter because I have to finish
You're
it.
still holding out hope,
Yeah.
Marsha.
No, I mean I'm not gonna have any expectations
Oh,
for it, but
So a lot of
Which
people are
might be
saying,
better.
yeah, like temper your expectations,
Yeah.
and that's probably.
I'm
like,
still
a
probably
little
not gonna
disappointing.
like it. But that's okay.
What if they do a lot of flashback stuff? Is that going to make you think better?
I
of
don't
this
think
movie?
it would make it consistent if they did add different flashbacks.
Well, they said some stuff. I don't know that they could allude with flashbacks and stuff.
I don't
I
know,
haven't seen
like,
the
and
movie,
it's
so-
not. And don't get me wrong, it's not because they didn't go play by play of what the book was. That's not it. I just think that they suffered the same thing that they suffered from the miniseries, is that they didn't follow through with any sort of plot points. And that's why I didn't like the miniseries, and why I didn't like this is because they're like, oh, we're gonna kind of touch on this
Okay,
issue,
so I have a question then, Marsha.
but we're not gonna finish it through.
Which was worse, the movie or the miniseries, in your opinion?
I think the miniseries was worse, just because number one, it is dated, and they had limited, and it was for TV, so
Yeah,
you
it's
didn't
different
get
decades. I mean,
you didn't get to play with it as much as the movie was able to play with the story.
did you
Scott
like the
Baker,
kids in
thank
the
you.
miniseries better than the kids in this '80s interpretation?
I feel like the
Because
kids
in
were
some ways
better.
I did. Yeah.
I think the kids were better because I feel like they played a more even killed role
Mm-hmm.
in the 90s than they did in this one, because on this one they played really heavy on Bill and Beverly.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Ben.
And Richie.
Yeah,
But
Ben
Ben
and
did
Richie.
shit the whole fucking movie.
He made not
He
done
made
shit,
he
but
said
he
like
was
5 words the whole movie.
he was the quiet, timid new kid at school. Though.
Yeah.
He was the new kid on
Ben
the block.
is badass, and they killed him in the miniseries.
They
or
did
killed
make him
here.
a slightly cooler kid in the original miniseries. I'll agree with that. Yeah.
Well, you had the dam, and you had
Mhm.
he had the fucking he had the burn. You know, he melted down the bullets, and he had the plan. And
yeah, those are all good points, and they didn't. they didn't make him as instrumental
Yeah.
in defeating.
And I think it really bothered me
And I
that
can
Bill was
understand that.
searching for Georgie, and because obviously his
Yeah,
body
he's
was gone.
missing instead of
and-
dead,
instead
like
of
in
dead,
the book, where
yeah.
his arm was just ripped off instead
And
of him
they
being
underplayed
pulled
the
all way down.
Barons too. They went to the
I
Barons
actually,
once.
you know what?
Not really.
I feel like the Barons were much more utilized in the miniseries.
Yeah, they
They were.
didn't even. They just all they said was Barons.
Yeah.
And
What-
then they ended up in the sewer.
What character would you all be from the movie? I obviously would be Ben.
I mean, obviously.
Pennywise.
Alright, fair enough.
I guess I'd be
Marcia, would you be Bev?
I don't know.
Alright.
I'd be Richie.
I don't know. I've never been a fan of Bev.
You'd be Richie?
I would be Richie.
You don't strike me as the joke cutter.
They did make
Bev.
Beverly
Somebody
really
who likes
cool
to
in this
talk
movie.
I mean, who would you
but
think I would be instead? I mean,
Beverly is actually a really weak
yeah,
character.
that's the thing because
Her in the book
I
and in the
I don't completely identify with Richie, but
Yeah,
Stan
I
or
guess
Mike
compared to
or
everyone
Eddie.
else,
I mean,
yeah.
come on, man.
Eddie's so bad.
I mean, honestly,
Fuego would be Bill, says
I identify the most, at least being a fat kid, and with a flat top and with Coke bottle glasses. I wear contacts, guys, but my correction is 12 and 13 in each eye. I was a overweight, kid who was bullied on. I had the girl who did not like me, who I was Peachy, her best friend, and yet whatever. I was Ben. So that's where I guess Cecil and I were both Ben.
Wences says Cecil
Yeah.
would be Bill. I would like to think so.
Well, you're more of the assertive type than me, man.
Well, I like to
Bill
try and
was
be.
assertive, though. I never thought Bill was a strong character.
He was in the book.
They thought he was in the book. I don't
Dino
know.
from the Late Late Horror Show.
That's
here,
actually
at the
interesting
end of the
because-
screen.
You guys remember how all of the other characters, including the narrator,
I'd be
Stephen
Eddie's
King,
mom.
saw him as the leader, and they're like,
Yeah.
he was the strongest, he was the taller, he was whatever, but did he ever really come
He didn't
off
do
that way?
anything.
No, not really. I
No.
mean, he was the one
I mean,
with the
he
vendetta
He
because of his
pushed
brother.
everybody, but
Yeah.
he really. I thought Ben was more of a leader, but he was more of a quiet leader.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a huge fan of Ben, and I just feel like
But not in the movie.
no, because they underplayed him and they didn't make him cool. He's badass.
Right. We can agree to disagree, that's okay.
Agree to
Yeah.
disagree.
Anyway, so there we are.
Yeah, is that...
Sorry guys, I'm glad you guys liked your movie.
Yep, that's gonna do it.
I really liked it. Yeah, I didn't love it though. As I said I didn't love it. I had too many qualms with the alterations, but as a whole, this was a lot of fun for a different interpretation of the source material.
Somebody did say, what do I think?
Oh.
I haven't seen the movie yet, sorry.
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't
why
been
he's been just
participating at
yeah,
all.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've made that clear. So.
Yeah, we have our handsome host, Mr. Mercer, who has been monitoring the comment section through the entirety. So.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Alright guys, well that's gonna do it. We went over an hour, but thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, I've been Javier Fuego, and tune in tomorrow for Hail to Stephen King preview. Next
I'm
week.
Andrew Mercer.
I'm March Burger.
Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't yet and you're new to this channel. We do 2 episodes every day, all kinds of horror coverage. And thank you very much. I appreciate you guys joining us.
Don't worry, I'm not on every episode too. You can hate me in silence.
This is actually
So
her
watch her.
second episode that she's ever been on.
Alright guys, so
Or third.
remember,
Stay
stay scared!
That was the best part.
You'll float too.
You'll float too!